Welcome, everyone. And we've got, well, they dotted every I and crossed every T. David, thank you. And the Clippers starting five. Harrell is out there with Ivica Zubac. Then it's Paul George. Then there's Kawhi Leonard. And it's Beverly in at the 1 spot. And for the Celtics, down is the 2 with Tatum at the 3. Enes Kanter is out there with Daniel Tice. And it's Walker in at the point guard position. The 3 from Tatum. It's hauled in by Los Angeles.
Having a hand up in your face makes such a difference to a shooter.
Yeah, that's a good defender making a great play, and he does it without foul.
Outside, Walker from deep. It's rebounded by Leonard.
And maybe the biggest story of this summer, where would Kawhi Leonard be headed in free agency? A player of his caliber commands that kind of media scrutiny.
That bucket in no time at all.
Oh, what incredible precision. Brown cutting the D to pieces with his pass.
Leonard, the pass to Zubac. And the dunk by Zubac.
Okay, 2 hands for safety. That's what they say, right?
That's right. He was ultra safe with that dunk, no question. Greg, you talk about the media focus for Kawhi Leonard. Not exactly something he embraces.
Not at all. As a kid on his birth page, he'd shutter himself in his room because he didn't want the attention. To this day, he lets his play do the talking.
Their movement is good, and they get the ball into the right hand. Now, usually, he drops those in between jumpers.
And the rejection by Harrell. And here's Tatum for 3. That shot, no good. And it's the Clippers taking it the other way. George finds Zubac. It's rebounded by Tice.
It's not easy to keep him from converting those. I mean, the D has to be airtight.
Boston's gone 0-3 from three-point land. Nothing yet going outside. They'll double him with Harrell. Passes to Tice. Not watching the line there. That'll be a backcourt violation. Poked away, and the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Beverly. Williams, he's checked in for Patrick Beverly. Just about 2 minutes into the game, first quarter of basketball. The Celtics have gotten only 1 of 6 shots to drop for them to start this game.
Yeah, you see the athleticism George had on that dunk. It's so quick and explosive. Gets to the rim in an instant.
And the Celtics rebounding well this summer. From the loss of Kyrie Irving and Al Horford, Kemba Walker possibly a better fit for this team.
And with their young core, understandable that they didn't want to extend Horford out to age 37. A revamped roster, but I think they remain a contender in the East.
So the Celtics call timeout. They're first. While the NBA is entertainment, you know, Chris, it also can have a very social impact in a positive ways. Guys like Kyle Korver have spoken out. The Jazz took action last season. Chris, how do you feel the league has responded to issues like discrimination?
Well, I think the league has done a wonderful job, better than any league. First of all, we acknowledge it. You don't just throw it under the rug and say there's no problem here. And that may be the toughest to be able to acknowledge that. And then secondly, to make quick, sweeping decisions, I think has also been awesome too. But I don't think any league in the history of sports has had more players speak up for issues in society than ours. Let's go back to Bill Russell and others, the way that they started the game and came in. We have to love it, and I love the fact that the league is not scared of the narrative, and we work together. And by the way, that Kyle Korver article was so awesome. It was so vulnerable for him to write that. And when you have players like that, no matter what color, that are selfless to speak out to make society better, then it's not just good for the game, but it's great for all of us. So kudos to Kyle, the Jazz, and everyone doing all they can do to make things better for everyone.
Absolutely. Good work there as it goes.
And after missing 4 straight, he finally gets 1 to go.
Down low, Zubac, and the dunk by Zubac.
And the feed from George couldn't be better. The timing, the placement, everything about that dish was pinpoint.
Celtics trail by 8. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off. Yeah, quick trigger. And from that range, if he senses the defenders have backed off, forget about it.
Goes up the baseline. Good. The nice assist for Williams. George has got 8 points.
And the mid-range jumper really right in George's comfort zone. When he isn't blowing by guys and finishing at the rim, he's knocking that one down with consistency. Yeah, they got that one, but early on, it's really been a struggle for them to secure that defensive backboard.
I like their focus coming in. Terrific execution so far.
Going for the juggler right off the bat. I mean, jumping out to an impressive early lead.
About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. The pass to Zubac. The shot is good, and so is his shooting tonight. 3 for 4.
And I need to see some more assertiveness out of these defenders.
Outside Tatum. Back to Walker from deep three-point range. No good. Shot missing. The first quarter concludes in a double-digit lead on the scoreboard. Clippers lead by 12. And the second quarter about to get started. We'll be back. And if you're just tuning in, we've got a wide margin on the scoreboard, but plenty of time left for a comeback. And quite a position here for the Clippers to be in. What do you think, guys?
Well, they used the fast break to generate some easy buckets before the defense could get set.
Setting the pace early, GA. I like this aggressive mind state. I love this approach so far.
I'll grade the Clippers signing of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, the grand finale of the wildest summer in NBA free agent history.
A ton of big moves. You think of the star players who've changed teams, 1/3 of the league's all-NBA selections, and 5 out of 10 of the reigning all-star starters. In the end, we saw 7 players who've changed teams, signing for over $100 million each. Put that in perspective, only 8 players had ever done that in league history.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. Taking a look at Los Angeles. Beverly and Williams, the guard tandem. Landry Shamet is out there with Kawhi Leonard. And it's Green in at the 5. Celtics trail by 16. And it's Walker penetrating. That one drops for him. Walker's got 6.
Now, even with contact, Walker is dynamite, finishing easily over the intense D.
Green kicks to Shamet. Good, and it's Green picking up the assist.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today, ending with a basket coming off a pretty pass?
Here's Walker. It's good, only a few seconds into the shot clock. He's got 8.
With this shot area quickness, Walker can usually carve out space from mid-range.
That's tipped. And it's out of bounds to the Clippers as the Clippers retain possession. Smart's checked in for Kemba Walker. And then for Los Angeles, Zubac is checked in for Kawhi Leonard. Harkless comes in for Patrick Beverly. And Rodney Magruder's subbed in for Williams. Magruder passes to Harkless. Good for the basket. Starting off 1 for 1 with that shot.
Big miscommunication on defense. He recognizes it and quickly takes advantage.
Yeah, they're pouring it on right here. Trying to give the opposition no light at the end of the tunnel. Well, last season, Kevin, Gordon Hayward returning from that terrible leg injury, it took some time to find his bearings. He's working his way back to that elite level.
That free throw good from Hayward. And with the Celtics' depth on the wings, Chris, it was a little tricky getting Hayward back in there.
Yeah, you have the young players ahead of schedule, Kevin. I mean, it's tough to give him minutes without hindering their growth. At the same time, Hayward, an all-star before getting hurt, you want to help build back his confidence.
Looking at who's out there now for the Celtics. Daniel Tice is checked in for Williams. And Jaylen Brown subbed in for Jason Tatum.
There's been a lot of evolution to Hayward's game, during his career. I'm not sure too many people saw him becoming the terrific player he is today.
And they get it back. The Clippers again turning it over. Enes Kanter's checked in for the Celtics. And here in the second, 2 minutes gone by. Celtics trail by 15. To the middle, here's Brown, and then Brown with the dunk.
The near 7-foot wingspan of Jaylen Brown. I mean, the hops. This is a guy who can dunk on anyone.
And the foul on Marcus Smart. That's his first foul. 1:52 left to play in the first half.
And that's a couple of very shaky possessions in a row. One turnover right after the other. And they need those kind of plays right now. Smart defense that generates some hope.
Well, last season, the chemistry for the Celtics, well, to put it nicely, it was lacking. I mean, they had friction over playing time. Players pointed fingers. Marcus Smart said it. I mean, they weren't together.
Here's Hayward. No good there, and that would have cut it to single digits.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
And so it's Hayward with it. He'll bring it up for the Celtics. 11-point game. And Chris, just an uneasy silence in the Celtics locker room last season. The bench really not celebrating plays. How do they regain that joy?
Yeah, Kevin, it's so tough when you don't have good chemistry. I think you start with putting the team first. And leadership, it starts with being a good follower. It starts with sacrifice.
And Los Angeles will go for a different look here. Montrezl Harrell, he's checked in for Green. Kawhi Leonard comes in for Maurice Harkless. Paul George is checked in for Rodney Magruder. And it's Patrick Beverley in for Landry Shamet. And for Jaylen Brown, part of the challenge last season, especially with the return of Gordon Hayward, was meeting the high expectations, Greg, in a reduced role.
Competition for minutes, and then early on, he struggled. We all see the potential, but it's really about seizing the moment every time you're on the court.
Kicks it out to Leonard. Shot clock at 5. Drills it from outside. Leonard's got 7 points in the game.
And with the lead, I like the strategy here. Continue to get the ball to guys who can do something with it.
I do too, Greg. You have to go to your best scores. I mean, it's a smart strategy, and so far, it's paying off in this game.
Boston making a switch here. Tatum's checked in. Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over.
And wow, you just have to love the motor on Montrezl Harrell when he's on the floor. Great on the glass, and he just plays with such a fire.
They back, I know. Go ahead, get you some. Just watch me get me some. Go ahead, get you some. Get you some. Just can't wait till I get me some. Go ahead, get you some. Just watch me get me some. Go ahead, get you some.
Leonard against Tatum. Canner in the corner. To the paint. Tries from 10. No good on the shot. A bit long that time.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat.
3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. The Clippers shooting their first free throws of the game on this trip to the line.
And look back a season ago. They did a solid job at the line, about 79% of their free throws.
He hits the second from the line. "16 seconds left to play here in the half. Smart dishes to Tatum. Over Leonard. Busted. No good that time either. And so it's Los Angeles. 13 points up at the end of the period. Their defense has been active and effective. It's time now to go court.
Kevin, thanks so much. Kawhi, you seem to be so at ease out there. How much?
Thank you, David. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half momentarily.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, welcome back to the NBA on 2K. An outstanding first quarter for Paul George. He had 8 points, 2 assists, and 5 rebounds. And let us get your thoughts, big fella. And that'll do it for our halftime report.
And there wasn't too much drama in the first half, but maybe things will tighten up here in the second. You look at Paul George in this game, guys, he's been everywhere.
Man, he's been running wild on him through that first half. Absolute dynamite on offense.
And as they can't slow him down, you know what you do? You keep feeding them and feeding them and feeding them. This is the right game plan.
Walker and Brown, they're manning the backcourt. Ennis Cantor is out there with Ojala. And it's Poirier in at the center position. That's the Boston Five. The Clippers grab the miss. George has got 6 rebounds in the game. And finished off by Leonard.
Oh, and the lead gets bigger on a ridiculous offensive sequence.
That dunk alone would have been spectacular. Never mind it coming at the end of an alley-oop. Beverly finds George. Lets it go with a 3. That shot off, and it's Boston the other way. Walker surveying the floor. Inside. Here's Poirier. Almost, but it rolls out. Los Angeles leading by 15. Here's George, and it's Paul George with the finish.
And I just love the aggressiveness from George, just slicing apart the defense with that terrific ability to penetrate.
And here's Brown. He'll bring it up for Boston. Here's Walker. It's hauled in by Beverly.
But this is not the start they wanted coming out of the break. 0 for 3 so far, and they're not playing with much intensity.
Here's George. Lays it up and banks it in. George has got 12. What do you think about some of the most powerful dunks, Chris? The tomahawk jam reigning supreme. Do you prefer the one-handed or the two-handed jam?
Oh, man.
You did both so well.
You know what? I prefer a body-to-body dunk on you. Like, remember what Derrick Rose did over Dragic back in the day? Oh, my goodness, off the 2. Or how about Jordan playing against Atlanta when he pump fakes it with one hand like he's going to shoot it, goes down the lane and dunks on Tree Rollins. Just incredible. Or Blake Griffin dunking on anyone, or Giannis dunking on anyone, or Embiid dunking on anyone. Or how about LeBron dunking on anyone? So, me, I just want the showmanship. Doesn't matter if it's one hand, 2 hands, 2 legs, 1 leg, 360, or straight body to body. Just give me something.
Yeah.
Give me something.
I like that. And Williams, here we go. Count the bucket, and he's got a free throw coming up as well.
I like that pick play. I mean, you can see how easily it makes it for him to get to the cup.
Greg, I'm just so impressed with the level of finesse and craftiness that Lou Williams always plays with.
And Kevin, you don't stay a perennial 6th Man of the Year candidate at Williams' age without having more than a few tricks up your sleeve. He's so good in tight spaces and can find a way to get a shot up where others just have to kick it out.
And the rejection by Harrell. The 3. Here's Green, and it's Green with the jam.
Nice job clearing some space out under the boards and setting himself up there for the putback.
And not just any old putback, Clark, but a big, big follow.
Well, they've been better than good on the glass today, and there is a glaring discrepancy between these two teams in that area. And on an open look like that, he's very gifted at making the weak coverage pay. They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Efficiency. I mean, that's an area where Walker has improved. No need to force it. Keep your eyes up. Make the right basketball play.
Williams kicks to Green. Some nice ball movement by the Clippers. There's Harrell. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul. First trip to the free throw line for him in this one. He misses the free throw. And Los Angeles with some changes. Zubac is checked in for Jermichael Green. Kawhi Leonard comes in for Landry Shamet. And it's Patrick Beverly in for Williams. No good at the stripe this time. The second misses also.
Yeah, and Brad Stevens, credited for the culture he's helped establish in Boston. But last season, though, that took a hit. Now we'll see how he responds to that adversity. It's going to be interesting to see.
Brown, good.
Well, how about the quickness of that release? Brown just draining that catch-and-shoot jumper with ease.
To the inside. Got a piece of it. It's stolen by Tice. Tatum on the wing. Over George. Tatum's shot is off.
And you know what? He's just not on his game. No doubt about it. Their deficit isn't totally on him, but he has not been an asset for his team.
From deep, George. It's good again, and an excellent 7 for 8 shooting night so far.
His shooting has been outstanding. Definitely one of the reasons they're up in this game.
And that'll prompt Brad Stevens to break right here. Timeout taken.
And the lack of rim protection, top of the list.
Without question. They're giving up too many high percentage looks, a trend that they'd like to reverse.
So Boston ends up going with a new group. We've got 33 seconds left in the third quarter. Here's Langford. Second chance shot. And it's sent back by George.
And physically, there's no doubt they've been the stronger team. A plus 10 rebound advantage tells you all you need to know.
Pass to Zubac. To the left side wing. Here's Kevin Gelly. And that one is stuffed right through.
Yeah, just solid work on the back end of that play.
Yep, you're right. Finished hard with two hands on that stuff. Leonard with the steal. And so it's Los Angeles cruising into the quarter break with a 22-point lead. They have made it very tough to get a shot off against them. Their defense has been stifling. Back to the action after this word. And let's take this chance now to show you the State Farm assist of the game.
And the definition of teamwork right there, guys. I mean, What great communication between them, and what a beautiful feed.
I mean, well, if you're the coaching staff, I mean, you're pumped up. This highlight will not only make it on the TV, it'll make it into the film session tomorrow.
And as we head into the fourth, we'll see if there's a comeback in the works or if it's more of the same from the first three quarters. And on the floor for the Clippers here in the fourth, Beverly and Shamet in the backcourt together. The two stars, George and Leonard, fill up the forward slots. And it's Zubac in at the center. That free throw, no good.
And I just watched Romeo Langford. And, guys, he looks the part in every way. Big, smooth, great change of direction, and he can flat out score.
Over in the corner, Zubac. 8 feet away. Poirier grabs the miss. Celtics trail by 21. Outside, Smart. Pass to Poirier. Leonard brings the double team. A nice shot by Poirier. Talking about Langford's ability to put up points, he has that popular step-back jumper, Greg, that's so difficult to defend.
Yeah, and you immediately think of James Harden, but a lot of guys use that step-back. The one thing Langford does well, he gets to the rim where he can use all that length.
Catching up on the changes for the Clippers. JaMychal Green, he's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. Harkless comes in for George. And Rodney McGruder's subbed in for Patrick Beverly.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that possession.
It's blocked.
And looking engaged defensively, Langford showing he has what it takes to be a shot blocker.
Smart misses. Los Angeles leading by 19 points. Here's Green. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass.
Okay, listen, you got to body him up when he's in the paint. If you play off of him, then that's just 2 easy points.
And so it's Smart. He'll bring up the ball for the Boston Celtics. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. And after signing a 4-year, $52 million contract extension, Marcus Smart rewarded the Celtics, Chris, with the best season of his young career.
Yeah, his best shooting percentages by far. I mean, add in his continued progress as a playmaker. Don't forget he's the man on the defensive end. I think that's money well spent for Boston.
Jaylen Brown's checked in for Boston. He's perfect from the line this time. Hey, Chris, with Dirk retiring, who now has the best fadeaway, you think, in the game from the post position?
It's a man that stole his move. Now, he didn't need to steal it. He just added on to his game. He's a great person. He's not a thief, but he uses that one-leg kick fadeaway, and he's the same height as Dirk. Well, that's Kevin Durant, the best fadeaway in the game, period.
Towns is developing a nice one, too.
Oh, you know what? I love Towns' games inside, and what makes Towns so good is that he can fade away over the right shoulder. And you know why that makes it so tough? Because he can come over the left shoulder with a jump hook. Most guys with the best fadeaways, they have a counter that already gets you hung in on that counter, and then when you're thinking about that original move, bam, they hit you with the fadeaway.
Relentless in their approach, even with the game firmly in hand.
Well, GA, this is no let-up. You know, this is the kind of hard-nosed competitiveness that wins games.
Now a timeout called by Boston. They're trailing by 18. 1:51 left in the game. And now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Paul George.
And his percentage from the field tonight seems almost made up. I didn't think it was possible to have that kind of success shooting the basketball. You need a little bit of luck, a bunch of hard work, and a whole lot of talent.
Well, to come in here facing a hostile crowd and have a game like he's had, that's what separates the good players from the great players. Green, the pass to Beverly. Shamet kicks to Beverly. Off target with his 3. Celtics trail by 18.
And this is going to end in a lopsided victory. I love the tenacity and aggressiveness as well as the ability to close. You really got to give it up here for Los Angeles.
their hard work on the glass paid off.
I tell you what, they're both excellent rebounding teams, and it was a tough battle underneath all game, and I think ultimately that earned the W.
And we watched one guy all night long, guys, and looking at the stats just confirms what a dominant game he had. What a night tonight it was for Paul George.
Just an outpouring of points from him. Nobody could do much to keep him from dropping it in.
Patterson, he's checked in for the Clippers. And the Clippers have possession. 22 is their biggest lead. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. Kemba Walker picks one up.
Shooting for Los Angeles. Landry shot.
First one falls for him. So, for the Clippers, Zubac is checked in for Patterson. Montrezl Harrell comes in for Green, and it's Leonard in for Harkless. And good on the second, so he makes them both. There's 53 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Here's Brown. The shot, no good. So Los Angeles will take it the other way. Here's Shamet. And good that time. And the Clippers lead by 20.
They just blocked out the noise, kept on grinding, and this is their reward.
Showing remarkable poise and focus throughout the game, a sustained effort across the board.
Leonard inside, Brown on him. And Leonard gets it to go.
Saw the opportunity to put this away and did not turn it down.
Oh, Greg, that's the dagger. You could tell they wanted that one. I know that sealed it.
Knocks down the 3-ball.
A guy who's really improved as a three-point shooter. That's taken Hayward's game to another level.
Here's Beverly, and Hayward with the block. Right side to Walker. Shot from 12. He can't get that one to fall. So it's Los Angeles winning this one easily. This crowd was stunned by the manner in which their team was dismantled.
You know what? Shocking. I don't care what the matchup is. You never expect.
David, thank you as always. And that